Alrighty, what is up, college baseball fans? Welcome to the weekend number 8 recap episode of the 11.7 podcast. Full crew here: Dimitri, Noah, Jack, myself, coming to you late Sunday night, and we're going to recap the weekend. Really surprising stuff. You got to see why the sport of college baseball is so great with big time series upsets and things you never thought would happen ended up happening. The episode is brought to you by Home Field Apparel. 15% off using promo code CWS25. So just think College World Series 25. And yeah, just homefieldapparel.com. Check out their stuff. And big launch coming, I don't know, next week, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think it was like April 13th or 14th, somewhere in there.
They're rolling it out that
But
week.
whole new college baseball collection. We will also go over the mid-major top 25. We had to wait until Hawaii finished playing here to even record the episode, but got a brand new mid-major top 25 brought to you by Game Time Sidekicks. They just released a bunch of mid-major inspired, what are these called? Tumblers, mugs. They all different shapes and sizes that we have here with your favorite team's official logo. So check out GameTimeSidekicks.com. They're also great. Well, I don't know how to put this. For any new listeners or people that missed last Wednesday's show, Dimitri blurted out something that took myself, and it took Noah, and it took Jack. I wouldn't even say by surprise. It was more of a fear or a panic or a shock when we were discussing the Texas A&M visiting Tennessee in Knoxville. I don't know what happened to Dimitri. He blurted out, "I guarantee that Texas A&M does not win that series," and I was shocked, stunned.
Will not. And it was after I predicted that they would.
Mm-hmm. Would not win the series. So we're in the content game, and we want to let you know that he did it. And I have a video, and Jack has a video, and Noah has a video. I'm going to show you proof right now. We're going to play a little bit of audio. We're going to play a little bit of audio, and then I'll show you a screenshot. And how this video will come out, we have a bargaining plan for Dimitri. Does the video come out? Does it not? And it's going to be up to him. But let me play the audio here first.
Sounds like we're showing a hostage video.
And here's just a quick peek of the PP. And it goes everywhere. It was not well tamed. So Dimitri, thank you for holding up your part of the bargain. That was I was a little surprised by that, but I know you're a man of your word. Mad respect, tip a cap to that. Jack, Noah, and myself have decided that we're not going to post the video yet. We're going to give you a chance at redemption. Do you want the chance or not?
That video needs to be sent to a far, far away, dark place and never seen again.
Great.
Love that. 32-year-old man.
I want you.
My pants. A 32-year-old man picking myself.
Yeah, you are 32 years old, and
he's a professional baseball player.
Professional baseball player. We would hate to see that video come out, right? Like nobody wants to see it.
Hate to see it.
Yeah.
If there was a way to make a video.
So Jack has a proposition for you, a proposal that we will delete this video forever. And Jack, go ahead and hit him with the question to see what his prediction is.
Friends, college baseball fans, if there was a way to make a screensaver of video, I'm going to try to figure out how to do it. But I will bury it. All three of us will bury this video. But it will be a Guaranpee video. Tennessee or the field? or the field versus Tennessee to win the national championship this year? You guess correctly, the video disappears. You guess incorrectly, and Coach GQ and myself are going to hit click and send to the world together. Mr. Rizgod could be potentially piss God come late June. What say you? Guys, it was so funny.
It was so much pee. He
So
went
much
all the way with it.
So much. That picture
and
that
you know
you
what?
showed didn't even do it justice.
You know it's unhealthy. You know it's unhealthy to cut off a pee. Once you start peeing, you have to let it all out. If you cut it off, it's unhealthy, and a very common cause for pancreatic cancer.
Okay.
Thank you for your service.
I'd like to add too, Dimitri, we had a little bit of a conversation after you did it. For those that are unaware, and maybe you're tuning in for the first time, the Guaranpee is a bet, and when lost, you have to pee your pants publicly. I did it multiple times in college. It's an addicting feeling. It is so funny. Like it is, you could bring together Democrats and Republicans, Alabama and Auburn fans, Ohio State and Michigan fans. Put someone in the center of the room that'll piss their pants. I swear, you will die. It's the funniest thing ever. But as someone who has pissed
That
their
was the
pants,
hardest I think I've laughed in a long time.
tears. Dimitri, it's a pretty satisfying feeling once you let it go, man. It's like your body's telling you stop. You let it rip. You're commit to the bit. I've never felt more connected to you.
There was no stopping. My pants became like a part of my body. And the feeling I had when it started touching my ankle was just when I just knew that was enough. That was just like, oh my
God. You went gray sweatpants too.
Yes.
That was
So
nice.
anyways,
So anyways, Dimitri, I need you to pick here real quick. Do you take the Tennessee Volunteers to win the national championship or the field?
well, my name is currently Tennessee is dead to me. We have not had a repeat national champion since South Carolina. They're going to fuck me again. They're going to do this to me again. I'm going with the field. I swear to God, if Tony Vitello, when they win the national championship, I will get on a flight and I will be in Omaha within 24 hours, and I will make sure that trophy is not handed to them. The field. I am taking the field.
And I'm
All right, so just say this for us. Just say for the clip. For the clip, to delete the video, if it happens, just say, I'm picking UT to not win the championship, the College World Series championship. Just say that for the clip.
I am picking the field against Tennessee to not win the College World Series. What that means is Tennessee.
You have to say UT.
Oh, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. You're not getting me on that one.
Oh man, you fucking sold it
Tennessee
too hard.
will not win the national championship. I am the biggest anti-Tennessee fan the rest of the way.
That's a
so
guarantee.
They're plus 400 to win the College World Series right now. Thanks to Noah looking that up. How much money would it cost, or how much money would you accept to have that video leak? Because you could put like $1,000 on them plus 400, and $5,000 for that video, like kind of it's a wash, right?
I see where you're going with this, and I'm not going to entertain it. I am not entertaining this. We have our deal, and that is the deal.
Okay. Just trying to help your deal out.
Nope. LSU, Arkansas, Oregon State, Alabama, Auburn, Texas, Florida State, Clemson. I like my odds this year that someone else can beat them. Hell, even Texas A&M is going to sneak in.
I'm going to stand at the plate of Charles Schwab Field and ask Andrew Fisher, AJ Russell, Marcus Phillips, Liam Doyle how it feels to make a grown man pee himself in front of the entire world. It's going to be beautiful.
Release a video of himself peeing.
Release, because he did do it. Yeah,
because they already made him.
He already did do it, but to broadcast it to the world.
We are not talking about this anymore. This is over, done with. I did my bargain. Let's talk actual college baseball. This is not a pant pissing podcast.
I
wish it was.
I don't think that this is news that Ben and Dimitri want to hear, but I don't necessarily know if like the audio or the picture quality were the greatest when Ben shared it to the people on the show.
No, it just
Oh,
wants
really?
to
Was it
watch
not
again.
good?
No, it just
I,
wants
don't,
to watch.
I honestly don't think it was. I tried turning up your volume on the microphone, and it didn't really. I don't.
Oh, do I need to do it again?
Yeah, do it again.
Just show the picture. Just show the
All right,
picture.
just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Here's a screenshot I took.
Good
That better?
Lord.
That was
And
much
then
Oh, yo, stop, Ben, stop with this shit.
better. He just kicked him out. This is a podcast. We have to describe what's happening. For our YouTube viewers at home, and for our listeners, Ben just showed a picture of Dimitri. And if you don't believe him, I swear on everything in my life, he committed to the bit. His gray pants make it so much better.
it is so great. It's a great. It's about to be my phone background. So funny.
All right, come on. Let's talk college baseball. I mean, it's 4:21 a.m.
Jack,
here.
All right.
you were
I'll,
you were in
you want me to
Knoxville,
segue?
right?
I was.
Well,
in
you were in
Knoxville. I was
Knoxville,
here.
right?
I was in Knoxville. I kind of want to segue it for us. Should I guarantee that an SEC team wins the national championship this year? It's not that really much of a hot take, but I'm addicted to the guarantee now.
Do what you want, man. I think even for the guarantee, you almost have to let it come naturally, like Dimitri last week.
Yeah. You're
You
right.
just gotta blurt it out and say,
You're right. I'm overdoing it.
That was as natural and organic as they come.
Yeah.
I
You're
have
right, I'm
no
forced
idea
in.
why I said that.
Forcing. I'm like trying to chase a bet because I'm down bad during the week, hypothetically. Yes, you're right. No, I was here. I'm still here in Knoxville. Crazy bad weather in the state of Tennessee, so I am here until tomorrow morning. To witness a no-hitter in person was pretty gnarly. I know I talked a lot of trash about the 7-inning ones that they don't count. It still feels like it. You know what I mean? Like when you're in the building, the fans are on their seat, and everybody's counting down outs. And then the way they do it, right? Dean Curley backside homer, Hunter Ensley with a 3-run shot to make it 10. Felt like a walk-off almost. And then Andrew Fisher swings a baseball bat harder than anyone who's ever swung a bat ever. Like I legit strained an oblique watching him play the game. All of that to be said, what happened yesterday on Saturday was on none of our bingo cards. It's what everyone in the college baseball world is talking about, and nobody saw it coming. And the response of the Texas A&M Aggies on Saturday, you get a doubleheader, the good vibes are rolling, and all of a sudden, it clicks. No, you did call it. I'm sorry, that was your upset of the week, Lo Siento. You know, to have your guy Prager go on Friday and it not go well, and then all of a sudden you're in the building going, well, it's defensively. These issues are on defense. Missed ground ball here, wrong, thrown back to the wrong base there. Saturday they didn't make those mistakes, and all of a sudden, when Keel robs the homer out and right, and get a load of this for people that talk about the Tennessee small ballpark, Andrew Fisher hits the ball, he pimps it. It's projected distance of 368, 109 off the bat, and the wind at 23 miles per hour blowing straight in gives Keel a chance at the right field wall to go and rob it. May have changed really the trajectory of Texas A&M season. Half an inning later, they get a little bit screwed on an objection call over at third base. Michael Early comes shooting out of the dugout, and for the first time really this year, outside of obviously the travel deal last week, we see Michael Early get into some ass, and he's fired up, and the boys follow suit. And 17 innings later, they got a run rule and a weekend series win at the number one team in the country. And to me, no matter what happens, it's probably going to be the most impressive weekend series win of the whole season. And again, doesn't mean that the Aggies are back. It just means that we knew all along they're insanely talented. This first-year head coach does know what the hell he's doing. That was the thing that stood out to me. Watching batting practice, all cool, calm, and collected. Every single guy getting the cage looking up at him, asking for critiques, right? Jace Laviolette, Golden Spikes guy, number one pick in the draft, after every round, going and like talking mechanics with him. They're still bought in, and that buy-in led to 2 wins on Saturday and potentially saving their season. It was a sight to behold.
What were the vibes like in the ballpark? Like being there with the Tennessee fans?
Dude, that game one, it was like 91 degrees. Like they had been used to like 40-degree weather all week, so you could kind of feel like everybody was a little bit drained. Like, man, like hey, we kind of slept walk a little bit. We gifted them this one, and then folks walking into the building for the second leg of the doubleheader, everyone's saying the same thing. Oh, boys are be playing with piss and vinegar here. Boys are fired up. We needed a little bit of a wake me up. This is good for us. We needed to play a little angry. And by the second inning, you're going startled. What the hell just happened? And then by the seventh inning, you go, oh shit, they are the team we played in the national championship last year. Damn it. Like, why'd they have to turn it on here? So you could kind of tell by the end of that night, you're going, this had way more to do about the boys in the third base dugout than the first base. And even in Tony Vitello's postgame media, you could tell, like, we sucked. Doubleheaders are weird. They had all the momentum in the world. Kudos to the team that played better today. They were the better ball club. Boom. That was it. It was wild.
I have a question, guys. I've always believed that doubleheaders were super hard to sweep. People split doubleheaders all the time. But lately, I've been thinking, if you win the first game and you're hot, it carries over to the second game, and it's like doubleheaders seem easy to sweep. But I've always been a believer of you split the doubleheader. That's just how it goes. Whoever wins usually loses the second one. But A&M, as soon as they won that game one of that doubleheader, came out first inning, put up a couple of runs. I was like, yep, it's over. It's over. They're going to win.
Yeah, my brain just tries to recognize trends and momentum and maybe like a season and whatnot. And during that doubleheader, the broadcast had locked on to this very shiny object that Wyatt Hensler was carrying around in the dugout. And I'm like, what is that? Oh, that's their home run celebration. Wait, A&M has had a home run celebration? I can't remember any social media videos about this at all. It's a golden putter. And due to some investigation work by Pencil Talk, shout out to Jack figuring that out from Caden Sorrell, last weekend against Kentucky, they introduced their home run celebration. They hadn't had one the entire year. The season on a whole, the offense has kind of been slumping, I guess is a word that you could use. They're putting up 6.8 runs per game through 31 games this season. But in their last 7, since the beginning of that Kentucky series, 10.3 runs per game.
The putter is alive.
So I think this series said more. A&M got up for this series. They got up for this series. They've had this series circled since last July.
Yeah.
They've had this series circled. So I want to see if Texas A&M, before I jump to any conclusion that they're back, they're just fine. I want to see them put it together again next weekend. And the weekend.
This schedule doesn't get any
easier
for the Aggies.
And they got up for this series. They had the juice. They had everything. I really need to see them do it again before I even think otherwise. I think this, if anything, this series just said that Tennessee is beatable more than A&M is back or whatever. We knew they were talented. They weren't playing well. I need to see it again because it's going to be hard to get up again because that environment in Knoxville is easy to get up for.
I agree and disagree with you if that makes any kind of sense. Like I think two things can be true. This idea that people forget like Tennessee played that entire weekend without Gavin Keelan, like a Golden Spikes nominee, right? Like to say that they're beatable, like I disagree with you. Like I think it's easier to traject. And like if I'm dialed in the plate and I'm seeing beach balls offensively, I think that contagious energy is easier in a doubleheader. So I think for Tennessee, they're going, that was a one-off day. Like that wasn't even like a 2-game stretch. That was just one day. Whereas for A&M, you saw the cockiness, you saw the swagger, and it started to ooze a little bit, right? To do that after a no-hitter, after being embarrassed on Friday night, when everyone in the country said nail in the coffin, dunzo, finito, called a spade, they just looked lifeless. Had more to do about Liam Doyle. It was a fight to the freaking bat rack Saturday, and they ambushed everything. Heaters down, mistake breaking balls, sliders 2 pitches off. I watched Bear Harrison hit a ball 440 feet on a pitch that was 2 balls out of the zone. I talked about the wind howling in from right field. Jace Laviolette hit a baseball 111 miles an hour that went 424 into the teeth of that wind. This is a team to me that you guys mentioned the schedule. We're about to find out, right? Consistency is key. I won't say that they're back. I mean, this is where I do agree with you, Dimitri. But this said more about A&M because South Carolina home at next week, got to go win that series. Then it's to Arkansas, and then everyone start go and tune your watches. Start counting down because then it's Texas to end the month of April. And I wish it was in College Station, truthfully. Like, I wish that first one back was in CSTAT, and I want to see that cult-like behavior get after a little bit. But you don't think those boys have had that game highlighted on their calendar for a while? I don't know. It's cool because even if you look at it, right, 14 is the magic number in the SEC. You're now at 3. To me, with adding Texas and OU, I think 12 you have a conversation about getting in. 13, I think, is the magic number now. But I think 12 for them, with the trump card being, hey, by the way, we went into Knoxville with the number 1 team in the land, the reigning back-to-back champs, got no hit on Friday. That's going to be the most impressive win. Like, you guys joked about the RPI jumping X amount of spots. What was it, like 60 spots or something? Yeah. That, to me, now all of your sudden, a team that's 3-10, you're asking to only win – 9 games the rest of the way, 10 games the rest of the way in 6 weekend series becomes a lot more manageable.
Yeah, you mentioned like the passion and like the swagger that Texas A&M had in that doubleheader. To me, if there was one guy to not let get hot, I mean, the obvious name is, Laviolette, but if there was one guy that, really carried a lot of the momentum of A&M's run last year after some unfortunate bad luck, it was Caden Kent. And when you talk about swagger, it's that bat flip. They're up 10 or whatever. Like, there's no need for it, but just the need to just let some energy out. Like, that's the type of kid where we've seen him go on a hot streak. If he goes on a type of tear like that, this A&M team is different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say anything else. I don't want to sit here and talk about the series all night long, but I thought it was a great series. Tennessee's dead to me. That's all else I have to say.
Perfect.
Dimitri, you talked about how doubleheaders are really tough to sweep. I was at another one that was a sweep this weekend. I don't know how much time we want to spend on it, but I lost a Uber Eats handshake to both Ben and Jack in the MAC. Baby Brooks is asleep, and also Jack is at a hotel, so we didn't do that today. Otherwise, I would have lived up to the bet 100% because Dimitri pissed his pants, for crying out loud. But Miami, Ohio swept the doubleheader, took the series on that Friday. Very, very impressive.
Only 11.7 would
At
go
home.
from a Tennessee Texas A&M series to a Bowling Green hosting Miami, Ohio. That's what makes us great.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that series, but it was cool to see the MAC, top 2 teams in the MAC, face off, and you were keeping us up to date with good videos and texting in the group.
How was that not on television?
I don't know.
I mean, I probably think of 1 or 2 reasons.
ESPN Plus.
I'm with you. I'm with
not
you.
Not like cable.
I'd go broadcast it, but I'm just telling you that money tight.
But yeah, let's move. The series I want to talk about the most, which I think is the most impressive series win of the season from anybody, is Texas beating Georgia, and not only beating them but sweeping them. That was something that we lost a ton of survivors in our survivor contest on. A lot of people were on Georgia. It felt like Georgia was the trendy team of, oh, who can beat Tennessee in a series? Oh, duh, Georgia and their bats. And if you guys remember on Wednesday when we recorded, I brought up, I was like, hey, sometimes when you go play Dish Falk, the ball just dies. And like, it's hard to hit there. And if you're not used to hitting there, you're not going to have success. And Texas showed to me, and maybe it's more of Jim Schlossnagle and like how he coaches. They were prepared for every single thing that Georgia did right and like what Georgia does well. They were well prepared to counteract that. And that series sweep, I think, is the most statement series sweep in the whole country this year. And it shows that Texas is maybe and possibly could be the number one team in the country this coming up Monday when D1 baseball and those guys make their rankings. Nothing against Arkansas, but Texas already has series wins against LSU and Tennessee, who I think are
Georgia,
the
Georgia, and
tier
LSU.
1A.
Yep.
Georgia, LSU.
And Ben, you
Oh,
mentioned
Georgia
it.
and LSU. I'm sorry, not
You
Tennessee and
mentioned
LSU. Georgia and LSU.
You mentioned it in a group chat. They have 2 weekend losses all season.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And one of them, they were leading for 8 innings. And they made an error that pretty much created 2 runs for Louisville on opening day. And they lost an extra innings in a game that they were leading for 3/4 of it. I was there. And they did that this weekend without Max Ballou, their best hitter.
And you saw the guys like Gasparino and everybody in that lineup just took a step up, and it shows that Texas is a national championship contender, no doubt.
Did we tweet that clip of Ryan Galvin?
Yeah, we did. Dimitri
Rylan
did.
Galvin?
Yeah,
Oh my
Going
god!
around
What
second.
a clip!
Bro, that was such a legendary moment for that guy. You hit a bomb. He goes back foot. The aura was out of control. He goes around second. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Texas with the whole team running out to swarm home plate. That was electric. What a sweep for Texas. I mean,
What's super electric about them too is this idea that no Baloo and we forgot about it, right? For the most part, like if you were eyes in the sky. What's so impressive about this damn team is they find a way to win, and it's a different guy every time. Like it feels like a different guy every time, whether it's Galvan, Jalen Flores had his moment.
Gasparino.
Crazy. Yeah, and he's been kind of the superstar, but like there's just the supporting cast. It's a different character that steps up every night.
Yep. Yeah, I think Texas is your number one team. That doesn't mean Arkansas, like you said, Ben. That doesn't mean Arkansas is not good. It's just their resume on paper. They've done more.
So do you? So you think it's them without question? Because to me, and I know that there were losses maybe in the past, but what LSU did on the road to OU this weekend, like I would have to have a conversation of them jumping up into that spot. I know it's maybe a little aggressive, but
Texas already beat LSU.
They already beat them.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying
there, buddy.
Yeah, but Cade Anderson was so good. He's so good.
By the way, that matchup of Kyson Witherspoon and Cade Anderson was really fun to watch. They wore his ass out. They wore Witherspoon out until he just had nothing left in the tank. And I think that just showed they might not have a star-studded lineup LSU like in years past, but they've got a lineup that's just going to keep pounding and pounding. I think Bear Jones, there was a slider. I remember that just at bat. He went something slider down the way. Bear Jones just went with it, broke the 0-0 tie to make it 1-0, and then it was bop 3-0 LSU, just like that. And
you know what LSU's lineup reminds me of? They look like a backyard baseball lineup. They have 2 guys that are 5'6" hitting like in the middle of the top of their order. They got Bear Jones, who looks like Keisha Phillips up there, just giant cartoon like. Derek Curiel looks like a little Pete Wheeler, just like he's got juice and pop really fast, but just his swing is like almost too pure. They look like they just drafted a backyard baseball league team. They're so good. So talented.
Keisha Phillips was the best name recall of all time. That was beautiful.
Did we not name drop Pablo Sanchez?
Well, yeah, I mean, you got Monster Milam and those guys who look like Pablo Sanchez.
Okay, thank you.
He went
all night. Let's just make backyard baseball comps the rest of the episode.
No.
Mid-major top 25.
Jack, I was not going to let him get away with that.
Mid-major top 25 has been posted. Full attention to you guys now.
Love that.
Great job, Dimitri.
Good job, D.
Persevering through pissy pants.
Hey,
I want to bring one more point up about this LSU series. I thought it was a great introductory to college baseball. ESPN2 Thursday night, you get Kyson Witherspoon versus Cade Anderson. Cade Anderson goes 135 pitches, 14 strikeouts, complete game shutout. Really only had some trouble in the first inning, and that was pretty much it. He cruised 15 pitches an inning. It felt like.
I want to mention something about that. People lose their mind on the actual pitch count of 135 pitches.
Yeah.
It was pretty stress-free for the most part. It's not like,
And he's
man,
not a max effort guy. He's not a max effort guy.
well, besides the max effort thing, it's just they were not high stress pitches where you got a guy in third, less than 2 outs, and you've got to go for a strikeout. You got to put a little something extra into your pitches. It was pretty stress free. It was so 135 pretty stress free like that is fine. Now, if you're at 90 where you're going, 25 pitches an inning, man on lead off triple, lead off double, and you're trying to get out of jams constantly, that's high stress. That's like, all right, we got to get this guy out of there.
Yeah, and it's the loudest voices in disagreement, I guess, with just the idea of throwing 135 pitches in the game are what I call TMZ fans, whether they're MLB fans or other sports fans that are on social media, right? They don't pay attention to college baseball. First off, there are 6 days of rest instead of 4 in between your starts.
He's going to get an extra day of rest.
He threw this on a Thursday, and he's getting an extra day. He's going to have 7 days of rest. That's basically double an MLB rest of throwing. So,
yeah, that's beautifully said. And Jay Johnson is a savant. He's the mad scientist. Like, there's nobody that knows more about his guys, maybe in the country, than Jay Johnson.
Yep. One more series I want to talk about in the SEC before we move on. I think that Alabama-Auburn series on the plane tells me more about how good the SEC as a whole. Because we already know what Alabama can do. I think they're a really good team. They've shown it for the first 7 to 8 weeks of the season. I think it just shows how good Auburn actually is. And that sweep against Georgia just shows how deep the whole conference is. They went on the road to Athens, got their ass handed to them, came back home, beat a really good Auburn team, the Alabama team, the very next weekend. That's what it tells me.
The new upgrades to Plainsman Park is amazing. You can't emphasize it enough. It looks like such a great all around, like going from putting seats on the left field monster, the new suites down the right field line. Man, it's a special place. Like it's a really good college baseball stadium.
Yeah, with that series, I chalk it. I guess I'll slightly disagree with Dimitri. I'm going to chalk it up as it's tough to win on the road. Period. Any conference, anywhere in college sports, it's tough when you're not sleeping in your own bed. It's tough when you do have a hostile environment, and this is the epitome of that. It's a rivalry series. Alabama got their doors blown off in game 1. And game 2 and game 3 were very close. To me, that I would say that was more like a 50-50 coin flip type series. And I understand where Dimitri's going, where like the bottom of the SEC is so good that they just knocked off Alabama. But I think if you put that at Sewell Thomas, the Crimson Tide win that series 2-1 or something else.
You guys want to take a guess at the top 5 road records, top 5 best road records in the country?
Ooh.
I have it pulled up.
Georgia Tech, one of them.
Georgia Tech is number 3. They're 10-1.
Yep, I
you
knew
have
that.
Texas at 6-0. West Virginia 15-1. I'd argue 15-1 is way more impressive than 6-0. So they should be number 1. And Clemson 6-1. TCU's 10-2. So those are kind of your road warriors there. Now Bowling Green 14-4. Pretty good stuff.
Hey. Speaking of,
unfortunately, just being there in person, that Bowling Green at home, that's a big park, and the wind was blowing in hard. It was sleeting rain. That's Midwest baseball for you. There were 3 tanks hitting that first game. The second game, the weather was kind of rough, but Miami, Ohio had 2 of them. David Novak, their catcher, was an absolute stud in this doubleheader. Wild double play that I know 11.7 account retweeted. Maction at its finest. Heady play from Novak. He then hits the bomb. That was the game winner. And then Dylan Baker just sees red. He's against Bowling Green. He batted .500 against them last year. The Falcons swept Miami, Ohio in Oxford, Ohio last year. This year, Miami, Ohio takes the first 2, takes the series. But unfortunately for the Bowling Green, DJ Newman, who was a preseason All-American at some places. Left that first game hurt, and he hasn't really been pitching much this season. He was like a two-way player, two-way stud. He's thrown sparingly, so that's unfortunate for the Falcons there.
Yeah.
You should go to the MAC tournament this year, Noah.
Mac talk.
You should just
I've always
dive all the
wanted
way
to.
into MAC baseball. Start a MAC baseball podcast.
I love the horizon too. Like Wright
That
State.
is such a great answer. That is such a great answer.
Go on, dude. You're on a roll.
Wright State and Oakland are two of my favorite programs. to follow.
I love it.
Peak Maction with those Central Michigan Ball State rivalry for those 3 years that they had. It was nonstop, punch for punch every year in the championship games. I remember it was at Ball State. They would pack that place out. Super fun conference tournament to follow. We'll see how it is this year, but let's go back. Let's rewind a little bit. Let's talk about teams getting their ass beat Friday night, just like Texas A&M did, and then coming back to win the series. Ring a bell, anybody?
Oregon State?
Wake.
We have multiple, so we can go whichever one you want to go first.
I mean, what Irvine did to Oregon State was almost like Oregon State was a little brother. Just pound for pound, I watched the whole game. Irvine looked like they were going to win the national championship. Oregon State comes back the next 2 days.
Irvine woke them up.
Yeah, they woke him up, and yeah, Oregon State wins the series. Our friend, I found this out pre-show, guys. Our friend Los Beeves does not have a Twitter account anymore. I don't know if he got kicked off, if he quit. Don't know what's going on, but the legend will live on forever of Los Beeves, because I own a hat, and I should have wore it today in solidarity. But yeah, I was waiting for these meme GIFs that he posts, waiting for him blowing us up, because we all picked Irvine to win the series, and just it never came. I got sad.
I think that with that
Check
series,
on your friends.
You know what bothered me today? It was raining the whole game in Corvallis, and I don't think that plays to UC Irvine's strength of the way they hit, the way they move. I think Oregon State played perfectly because they just outpitched them today. That's what it was. It came down to a late inning, 4-run inning for Oregon State to win that series today. But yeah, I mean, I think that's just a good fought series. Both teams are good. I think Irvine will be in the hosting picture just as Oregon State will be. So that's pretty much it. All I've got from that series.
Yeah, to go to the other one, I don't know if Jack wanted to add any input on Eaters and Beavers. I think I'll speak for us. Like, we didn't include the Wake Forest Florida State series because we kind of thought that a lot of people would take the Seminoles in that one.
Yeah, why did you not take that one?
Because Wake sucked against Virginia Tech.
Oh,
that's
right.
No, it was Friday. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Wake got swept at home against Virginia Tech, then lose a rough one on Friday, and bounce all the way back with 2 run rules to finish off the series.
They beat their ass the last 2 games. They outscored them 29-2. Wasn't even close. Florida State looked dead. Their bullpen looked like it went through a meat grinder, to be honest. So I think it says more that Florida State got holes or got issues, because I think Wake just bounced back and just played their brand of baseball, which was just keep pounding the ball until you wear them out. I think Florida State got exposed more than anything.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, I mean, they lost a series to Notre Dame, and now Wake Forest at home.
No, they didn't lose the series to Notre Dame. They won it.
They lost a game.
Yeah. They lost one game. They got blown out game 1 or something like that, and then won the series. But yeah, I think it's Clemson's conference, the ACC.
Yeah, there just hasn't been a lot of consistency.
Tech is right there with them, though. Right there with them. Any thoughts?
Sorry, I was posting mid-major to the Instagram page, but yeah, I mean, right now, like Clemson, I honestly thought Clemson was going to trip up this weekend, and it's not because I hate Clemson or anything, but going out west and playing in a dead environment of Cal, and Cal has shown some streaks this year of beating good teams, but like Clemson, they're the most. I don't know how to put it. You can never count them out. Like, even if they go down 3 runs in the 7th, they're going to come back and they're going to score runs. Like, they're very hard to kill. you might beat them once, but you're not going to kill them. So I put Clemson up there in the top of the conversation with the Texases and Tennessees and so forth. So
speaking of ACC teams heading out west, did you guys see what Georgia Tech did today against Stanford?
Georgia Tech and
18
Coastal
to 2.
Carolina are
They
not.
swept the Cardinal.
Yep. Georgia Tech
And
and Coastal
Stanford's
Carolina are
0-9
not the
since
same
winning the
teams that we're
series.
used to seeing. Like they can pitch the ball, and we've always said like if Georgia Tech can just find steady pitching, they're going to be killers, and that's what they have this year. Like their offense is talented.
Yeah.
I cannot believe
and that's after North Carolina. Stanford wins a series against North Carolina, sweeps Duke, and now they're in a 9-game losing streak in the ACC.
like how did that happen? How do you sweep Duke and then lose 9 straight? Like I just don't know how that happened. I think I just don't know how that happened.
I'll tell you what, that was one of my favorite series to watch. You get the insane extra inning ball game on Sunday, and then the Madera double play at the end to basically save non-going to extra innings on Friday. Like that North Carolina Duke series, and again, to your point, Dimitri, like it's a good Duke team that Stanford swept, and now Duke is kind of like finding their rhythm. But that was a heck of a rivalry series where you could tell there was a lot of distaste between both dugouts. Ben Miller, the ACC home run king, shows out, but Madera made a couple plays, not even just the one to win it on Friday, but on Sunday too, where you're like, holy hell, he might flash leather as good as anybody at the shortstop position.
Yeah. I think the ACC is a jumbled mess right now. I don't really know how to read some of these teams. Like Virginia loses the series today on an unbelievable 9th inning comeback by NC State. I don't know how I feel about Virginia. I don't know how I feel about Duke. Like it's just I don't know what to think about them.
It's really a week by week case. Other than Clemson and up until this point, Florida State, it was one of those where like Virginia Tech looks unstoppable one week and then they go and lose the series. Or actually, did they end up winning that series this weekend? They did, didn't they? They beat Louisville. Yeah, they beat Louisville 2 out of 3.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
So Virginia Tech's playing good baseball right now. No, they lost last weekend. That's what I was thinking of.
Dude, Virginia Tech?
No, Virginia Tech
No, they beat the they were
Virginia
down.
Tech swept
Virginia
Wake
Tech
last week.
down 4 against Wake on Sunday, came back and scored 5 runs to win the game.
Yeah, they swept
They
Wake.
played
Remember
Notre
that one.
Dame this week. They played Notre Dame this week. I don't know why I
Remember
was
that
thinking
one well.
Louisville. That was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Louisville
And
won the
then-
series against Boston College, I think, this weekend.
Right.
We've talked about this last week, and I may have said it before, but I would like to go to our residential basketball guy too, because the ACC, yes, it is a jumbled mess, and I think we can all agree there's a lot of talent in the ACC, but it does feel like a down year. I'd hate to be Mr. Negative, but like, you don't think so? You just think it's like super competitive?
I think what we're seeing right now, if Duke didn't have that early season little whatever, and Virginia, I think Virginia is just kind of like Texas A&M. They just haven't found their identity.
I disagree. They look like they did, and they had that game done. They're up 8-2 today. Done. Game's over. They won the baseball game.
You know how
Yeah.
A&M hadn't done that to anybody, right? Like A&M is just losing like 2-1 games, giving up walk-up homers. Like UVA had struggled with it, like with everything, whereas A&M's thrown it really well. But I more so look at the league as a whole, where you go, I had such high expectations for all these teams, but it's the way that they're going about losing, where you're like, there's just a lot of like concerns. And I'm not saying that they're not going to get a ton of teams in the tournament, but I guess when I go sit down to watch a regional or a super, and I'm sitting there watching a Florida State or a Louisville or a Virginia or a North Carolina, and I'm going, remember that game back in April? Right? Remember that? Remember like they dropped like 2 weekends to Notre Dame, and you're just sitting there going, man, so those are weird losses. Where in the SEC, you look at it and you go, hey, like it's tough to win on the road in the SEC. I don't know if it's like our narrative or the narrative that's out there, but it just feels like the losses look uglier in the ACC right now than maybe the teams in the bottom of the barrel of the SEC.
But let me counter argument that, and Ben is going to agree with me on that. When it comes to June and Virginia's playing for a regional championship and all these teams are playing for regional championship, you're not going to be surprised.
No, that's my point though. It's like
That's why
Like Virginia, if Virginia's in
chill out
Omaha,
when the ACC is down. Think chill. It's just super competitive. They don't have these fan base environment that like the SEC does, so it's easier to get up. It's easier. There's so many dynamics and factors that play into it. It's just different. Like traveling out west to play in front of 50 people in Palo Alto, California, is not going to get you super fired up and amped up. It's just the way it is.
I guess I just more so look at it like basketball, where like basketball, there were 3 teams that made the NCAA tournament this year. And Duke was by far the best team, no blemishes. That's how I view Clemson. Like I think of Clemson right now as head and shoulders better than everybody else. Now I know Florida State fans should absolutely come barking at my door for saying something like that, and you have every right to, because there's a ton of talent. But then when you watch and you're like, they're just leaving a little bit on the table. And in those 50-50 moments, or at the end of the game where you have to make winning plays, sometimes they fall a little short, where Clemson does every time. So it feels like basketball, where the one team that has separated themselves, that's playing in a different tier based off of everyone else in the conference.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own.
Yeah,
You have the right to that opinion, and I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just I think people need to remember when you watch the ACC, don't get too caught up in your week-to-week things, because they will be there in June.
Well, that's like we said, if Virginia goes to it, like if I wish I could hypothetically invest tomorrow on Virginia to go to Omaha, because I know that they've already bought their tickets. Like he'll find a way to get them back there. Like I'm not worried, but some of the losses are.
Yeah, you mentioned that you wanted to pass it over to me, who also follows on the basketball side. I'm going to agree with Dimitri, but I want to crowbar in, a measly 3 weeks ago, there was a podcast episode on 11.7 where there were 3 people on it. And at the end, we were like, all right, fuck it. Who's winning the national championship? Ben and Jack both picked Houston, and I picked Florida. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night for what should be a heavyweight throwdown. But yeah, I agree with Dimitri that, like, I think the ACC just on a week to week has a little bit more fluctuation due to some of these places are a little bit harder to get up at. I'll also say Houston's head coach Kelvin Sampson called the ACC basketball league a toy poodle league this weekend. So I don't think the ACC baseball league is a toy poodle league.
Hey, before we keep going, all of these great predictions I keep making, how come hypothetically I don't ever invest in those? Like, why did I invest in 15 runs on a Sunday night game in Arizona that I knew nothing about? How come I can't invest in the things that I actually say out loud, hypothetically?
That's actually a good strategy. If you hear Jack on the podcast say something, you should hypothetically wager something on it, because he won't.
Don't ever hang out with me, though. Arizona State 184. Needed 15 runs.
Is the Big 12 the most underrated conference in baseball this year right now?
Yes,
they are.
Underrated as in how? Like, if I asked you right now, would you take the ACC or the Big 12 as a whole? Who would you take?
Ooh,
I would probably.
I don't know if.
Because here's the problem: when we talk about the SEC or talk about the ACC, our mind naturally, without even thinking twice, compared it to the other. We talk SEC compared to the ACC. We talk ACC compared to the SEC. You never really compare these conferences with the Big 12 or the Big 10, because it's ingrained in our brain, ACC, SEC, and then the rest. But I think the Big 12 can. I mean, I think Arizona State versus Florida State, that's a tough one to pick. Wake Forest at Arizona, or they're just so not UCLA, Kansas, TCU, like West Virginia, like their team. I think they're all right there with the top of the ACC.
Yeah, to me, I think the top 6 teams in the Big 12 all like have a good chance to host a regional. Like, if they just finish strong,
I do too.
Like they could all do it.
Here's why I would say, like, underrated is more Big 12 than the ACC. The ACC had a lot more teams ranked in the preseason, a lot more respect thrown their way, a lot more star talent, star players on those rosters. The Big 12 had their preseason favorite entering this week at 1-8, and yet they just swept the number one team in the Big 12, who had been playing good ball.
No, they were 1-6, I believe. You're talking about
Are
Oklahoma
you
State, right?
talking about
1-6.
the Oklahoma State Cowboys?
Yes. Yes, I was picturing one win in the Big 12 in my head, but I forgot that they only played one game against WV.
Yeah, they had those two games canceled.
But yeah, they just
No, they were
just swept
1-6
Kansas State.
entering this weekend and swept
what we're
Kansas State.
saying.
Now they're 4-6.
I said
Oh,
1-8.
sorry.
That's what we're
I
saying.
misspoke.
Hey, we thought UCF was a legit team. Cincinnati went into their house and said,
Me too.
"Daddy's home."
Kansas.
What? Kansas? What? Oh,
Kansas went into UCF.
yeah. Cincinnati went
Swept
into
them.
Lubbock, West Texas. Sorry, and took the series. Yeah, I got mixed up. Yeah. I mean, I think Kansas. I think they're bringing a regional. I think they might be bringing a regional home. We got
that would be something I'm rooting for. I'll just put it out there. I want to see Kansas host a regional.
That rotation, the experience in that lineup, that's a really good DNA on the roster.
And you're not even talking about the best part of their team. Their offense is legit. Their lineup is legit. I mean, West Virginia, I don't really know how I feel about West Virginia. You mentioned that they're road warrior. They're good on the road. I don't know. Are they a top? I mean, probably. They probably are one of the top three teams in the conference with Arizona State. You can make that same argument for TCU.
Yeah, I mean, you look at West Virginia's overall record at 27-4, and you're like, dude, we're in April and you only have 4 losses. Like, yeah, of course they're great. The strength of schedule is not awesome, but to win 27 of your first 31 games is pretty good.
Like, they played the two worst teams in the Big 12.
Mac.
They played the two worst teams in the Big 12, BYU and Utah.
Yeah. My buddy Mac at the College Experience is like, we have 4 losses. How are we not in the top 25? Like, that was a really hard to trying to rationalize it, how they're not.
Yeah, their non-conference strength of schedule is 261. Overall strength of schedule 170.
Their intent to schedule, though, was pretty damn good. They played 3 road series, one of them against Jacksonville, who's a good program, and
And you know what's crazy? West Virginia had Houston, Cincinnati, UCF, Texas Tech the next 4 weekends. They play nobody. And then they've got Kansas State, Kansas. West Virginia's going to
sounds like a hypothetical at best.
They're gonna be a 40 win really fast.
Morgantown Regional would be fun too.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm looking at the RPI right now. Like, I think we're gonna get probably 3 ACC hosts, 3 ACC and 3 Big 12 hosts. That's 6 of the 16. And then what? Like, we'll have 1 SunBelt, 6 at least in the SEC.
Hopefully Irvine,
Oregon State.
How many West Coast teams are going to get one? Because you've got UCLA, you've got Oregon State, you've got UC Irvine, and then you've got that one dark horse team. In the next 3 weeks, they're going to decide their season. Them Stangs from Cal Poly. Them Stangs. Realistically, are they going to host? Probably not. But I think we're just going to see the typical Oregon State UCLA host. I think UC Irvine is going to get snubbed by some SEC team or some East Coast team. That's just usually how it works out.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're probably right, Ben. You're going to get 6 to 8 SEC, usually 50%, and then you've got your 3 or 4 ACC, 3 or 4 Big 12, and then you've got your 1 or 2 West Coast. That's usually how the breakdown works.
I'm looking at it right now. I would be shocked if the SEC didn't get 8.
It feels, yeah.
It feels like we're going to get 3 ACC, 3 Big 12, 8 SEC, 8 SEC, 3 ACC, 3 Big 12, and that's 14 of the 16 spots.
Can I crowbar an interesting conversation in this?
Why do you keep saying the damn word crowbar? I've never heard of that. What does that even mean?
He's the crowbar.
Because he's the crowbar. I'm gonna jam it in there, and
he probably has like mafia ties.
Dimitri, you should know that terminology well. It's a good one.
I like it. I do like it. I've never heard it.
So, yeah. Western Kentucky guys, they went down And I believe the phrase, I don't think the Pats have lost a home series in this decade, was uttered on the last pod. Western Kentucky belt to ass in game 2. They take the series 2-1. All of a sudden, like, they have an interesting case, right? I mean, their schedule has been weak, but the record speaks for itself with a road series win at DBU.
You guys could probably find it, but sometime this fall, I tweeted out from my account, my own Twitter account. I'm going to pull up the tweet right now, but it had something to do like Western Kentucky is a super regional team this
I
year.
remember you
And
tweeting that, and I was like, dude, I need to go look into this because when Ben tweets the horn like that early, there's something there. But I'm going to read what we wrote for Western Kentucky preseason.
dude, the new
Coming
search
off 36
feature on
wins.
Twitter sucks.
Terrible.
They return most of their team experience with everything when it comes to the major. They have all the talent. 4 of the top 5 hitters were back. G-Code transfer Ryan Weidman. He's been their X factor this year. The dude's athletic in some field. He's legit. What else do we put? A lot of innings came back. We thought they were going to compete in the upper tier conference USA with Dallas. Yeah, so that's what we wrote preseason. So yeah, I mean, I think.
Try to find my tweet. The search for the
me
feature
to find it for you?
on Twitter sucks.
Yeah, I'll try to.
I'll
Somebody
get
find it. Because now I'm thinking I'm like gaslighting myself and be like, did I actually tweet that out or not?
You were on him. I remember you said it in the preseason too, like when we did the conference pick'ems as well.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I just think this is the year that like they are the most complete team that they've ever had. Like we've seen Western Kentucky teams that have had great pitching, not a great offense. Like last year, the offense was amazing, pitching wasn't good. Felt like this was the year that they put it all together, and in mid-major fashion, like have the old guys, similar to an Oral Roberts style of, hey, we're just going to lean on some old dudes that are 22, 23 years old, and we got a couple stars that are going to, like, you telling me like Ryan Weidman is not Jonah Cox 2.0?
Check the link, Ben. There it is.
Yeah, WKU, there's 27-5 on the year, 21-0 at home, and they have 3 quad 1 wins with just 1 quad 3 loss.
That's pretty good.
There we go.
So my tweet was from February 2nd, 2025 at 12:45 a.m. I don't know why I was awake, but I said the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers are a sleeper to make a super regional in 2025. Just out of the blue. Don't know why I said it.
You should quote tweet that right now.
No. You got to save it for later.
No.
Yeah, let's save it.
You got to bookmark it so you don't lose it.
Save that shit, Jack. You premature
June.
Jack.
Hey, I'm celebrating small victories kind of guy. I take my victory laps when I can get them. Like shout out to all the boys at Miami, Ohio. There's like 9 guys that tagged me, and then also like the Western Kentucky account tagged me. Because Dimitri, here's the thing, man. You don't think with your brain and you don't feel with your heart.
I love
you just rip it from your balls, man. That's it. We know better than that.
Word of advice to everybody: live life that way. It's the best way to live. You have no regret, and you have a whole hell of a lot more fun.
Yeah, Lucas Hartman tagged me in that today. Shout out to Hartman and the boys; they get their job done. I do want to come bring something to everyone's attention as well. It's Ben's favorite terminology. I don't know if we have this many devout 11.7 listeners, or if they're just using it on a whim as well. I had like legit like 8 to 15 dudes from Miami, Ohio, Western Kentucky tag me like, yeah, Jack to Longshaw, ball knower.
He knows ball.
With nose ball. Dude, so I don't know if they're in on the bit or if they're just saying it, not knowing that Ben hates it, but I love this shit out of it. Mostly because out of the four of us, I know the least amount of ball by far. We got Noah rattling off Mac and Horizon League baseball stuff like it's his job, because it is his job. I guess it's mine too, and I still don't know it. Shit.
That's funny. Yeah, we don't use that phrase on this show.
Hey, thoughts on Arizona State? I didn't watch hardly any of that series. Anybody else?
I watched a lot of the Arizona State game Friday, and it was chippy. It was like somebody gets hit by a pitch. I think it might have been Mikey White, but gets hit by a pitch, stares the pitcher down. They start barking at each other, and then something else happens. The umpire has to give warnings to both teams. It was just
Mason
very
White.
intense.
He's a fireball, though.
Mason White, Mikey
Yeah.
White was like Alabama's old shortstop or something, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
those
Mikey
names just
White.
kind of get recycled, and yeah.
Mason White. You're right. But yeah, I mean, like Phoenix Municipal Stadium, sellout crowd, record-breaking crowd, great atmosphere. Arizona wins the first 2 games, and then Arizona State wins tonight. So big series win for the Wildcats.
My guy, Owen
Okay.
Krankowski, game 2, 9-inning complete game. Good for him. Like, he's a guy that sits mid-90s. I don't know how much swing and miss stuff he has, but Arizona has something cool. Like they have like an analytics account on Twitter that they post their stats and stuff too. And I like being plugged into those programs early, like just in the winter. It gives me something to digest. And that's what really made me feel comfortable with, like, they had a bunch of new pieces on this pitching staff, but consistently every weekend when they were doing their inner squads, Kramkowski's name just kept popping up. Like, this guy is consistently going well against his teammates and his buddies. Like, I figured that he'd be all right. My first instance of watching him, he gets clobbered, only gets 1 out against Clemson. Turns out Clemson's a top 5 team in the country, top 10 team in the country, and Arizona's right there with them. Just it was a rough day for the guy, but he's gotten the train back on the tracks, and that was a hell of an outing against a rival.
I will say that as a scoreboard watcher of that series, whenever a team is down 2-0 in the series on the verge of getting swept and they're down in that game 3 by 3-4 runs, and the team fights back and ends up winning the series, it says a lot about that team.
Yeah.
Arizona State was down like 4-0. Their backs are against the wall. They're about to get swept. They put up 8 unanswered to salvage the finale. That says more to me about Arizona State, that they're a mature team. They have what it takes to win in June, and that's what we care about. End of May, June, that's what I care about.
Michigan stole game 3 in Eugene against Oregon today. The same thing. They were trailing for a couple innings, blasted a grand slam to take the lead. Oregon fights back, and it was a 12-11 final.
We're not comparing Michigan to Arizona State now. I'm not going to let you do that. I will not.
I'm comparing Oregon to
Why?
Arizona and Arizona State.
What about the Hatties wearing? They almost did it today, but then couldn't finish it off. How about Florida? Florida
Shout out to
down
them.
2-0.
Both their baseball and softball coach got ejected on Saturday. Incredible.
It's not good times in Gainesville right now.
Well, softball, they're number 2 in the nation. So
I watched all of that Florida game today. Sully has nothing left in the tank. He is so beyond pissed off. And I don't know if it's his fault because this is the team he's putting out on the field, or if the players are just playing like ass. I don't know what it is, but the guy is so fed up. He is mumbling, and every time the TV can't pan on it, he was mumbling, "Motherfucker, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? What the fuck are you thinking?" Nonstop for 9 innings today. It was nonstop. And I was like, dude, I don't know if I want to feel bad for this guy. Like, I was like, dude, he is so bad
for him.
he's not used to losing like this, dude.
But like,
He's
the guy
not-
is so fed up.
Now,
He's
I
not
will
used to this. He's
yeah.
a winner. Like,
He is a winner.
Oh,
That's
but
all
hold
he's
on.
ever done.
He
But I
does-
will-
normal.
Can we give him I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to do it because they got to find a way to win baseball games. And it was
Correct.
the conversation we had about A&M. Tennessee, Georgia, Florida State, Ole Miss, Vandy. Like, gee, good Lord. So next week they've got Missouri, Mississippi State,
They're not
and
making the
Arkansas, South Carolina. So, like,
They're
I'm
not
not
making-
saying it gets easier, but like now's go time for them. But like this
Yeah, it's
gauntlet
been
is
go
nuts.
time for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
put
but-
it-
Too late.
we put
What's
it-
good about it, though, is they get to use this time, the remaining how many weeks in the regular season, to figure out who is going to step up in the holes that they have because of some injuries that they're now out for the season. They're missing Kyle Jones. They're missing, I can't think of it, Cade Curlin for the year. they have this time to, gather some momentum. And for I don't know how long, but the SEC tournament right now is inviting everybody. So figure your shit out and come ready first week of May or last week of May at the SEC tournament.
I was hoping like how you were about to say. Right now, they sit back and they figure out what coach they're gonna hire come May because he's done.
No, I thought he was going to say, let's just figure out what we have, what we need to get ready for 2026. That's literally
hit the transfer portal hard, guys.
But this is this is, and Ben, you're going to agree with me, and that's why I'm saying it's now go time because I just like with Virginia it's Florida, so like they'll be all right. There's 6 SEC weekends left. They have 1 win. Okay, they have 1 win. We said the lucky number was 12. So that means they have to go your favorite number, 11-7 on the way out. Okay? To get to 12 wins. And if you don't think at 12 SEC wins and they're AD on this freaking board, then you're nuts. So don't say that I'm too late on it's go time. Missouri, Mississippi State, South Carolina, Alabama, and who else did I say?
We're not going back
in Arkansas. No, I'm just saying, like, we're leading into postseason talk, but, like, just know they're still alive.
I want to bring up American Athletic Conference.
Okay.
UTSA sweeps FAU at home a week ago. The daddy of the American Athletic for the past 6 years had been who? East Carolina. FAU bounces back, goes into the jungle, and sweeps them very convincingly. Sweeps them. And I think it goes to show we were down on East Carolina at the beginning of the year. They're not the same team we were used to seeing. They don't have as much talent around the field 1 through 9. Their pitching is nowhere near what they used to have. They lost Root to the portal. They lost Yesevich. They don't have their Jake Agnew. They don't have they've lost a lot. And I think this year can be the first time we're going to see somebody else win this conference. And UTSA and FAU are on a lot of people's radar. South Florida is another team. They're right there.
Dude, Tulane, Charlotte, like it's a pretty deep conference. Like if you take out Memphis and Rice, and then UAB had a fun run earlier in the year, but they've been playing bad baseball. But the top 6 teams in the American, I would not be surprised if 2 or 3 of them get in.
What does the AAC need to do to, at this time of the year, feel comfortable about their RPI? Because, like we're talking about, this is a solid conference.
They need one team to go on a massive run, and they need a second team to win the tournament, and they'll get 2 teams in. That's pretty much where the American stands right now.
Yep.
I mean, it's been the same way with East Carolina. If East Carolina didn't win the tournament the last 6 years, it was that second team that would get in. So I don't think this is any more than 2 bids at the max.
I agree.
The same thing with the Southland. They need one team just to run away with it and a second team to win the tournament. Because I think the Southland can be no more than 2 bid league max.
I think the American Athletic Conference could get 3 teams in. I'm looking at their stats right now.
It could
South
be
Florida and UTSA would both get into the tournament right now as an at-large. And I think both of their schedules are favorable to – I mean, they have to play each other, but they still have to play like FAU and East Carolina, UTSA. They play against each other. Charlotte. I think these RPIs are going to get better throughout the year. I'm hopeful for the American Athletic Conference.
Yeah, I think they have a shot. I think East Carolina's at-large hopes took a massive, massive blow this weekend. They're in the 90s, I think. I haven't checked.
They are.
But I think they're in the 90s. Yeah. I mean, South Florida, UTSA,
it is
for
underwater.
FAU, you need to run away with it, and then someone else. The other 2, we'll see. But don't doubt Mitch Hannah. I mean, the guy got them in contention year 1. They were picked last by D1 baseball in the American Athletic. So,
no shots at D1. I just think that's like very impressive.
They know what they're talking about. They didn't
to get that thing completely turned over.
They didn't draw it out of a hat, but that just shows how good Mitch Hannah did. And what he gets out of. He gets everything out of his player. Speaking of Mitch Hannah, Indiana State lost their first conference series since 2022 this weekend. That shows you how dominant he's been in the Missouri Valley. Hey, Ben, have you been keeping up with the Fullerton boys?
Fullerton looks like they're going to make. Looks like they're going to make the Big West tournament, where only like the top 5 teams make it this year, or top 6.
Yeah, top 5.
Yeah.
A
result that I found really. Sorry.
What?
Who's saying sorry to?
Sorry for cussing.
Because I was talking over Dimitri. A result that I was very intrigued by and I loved, honestly, was Marshall taking 2 of 3 as Southern Miss traveled up to Huntington. That helps out another Big West team that we're hoping for Operation Honolulu.
Hawaii's dead.
I know.
No. Everybody clip that. Dimitri just said Southern Miss is dead.
I did not.
Dimitri said Southern Miss is dead. I heard him say it.
But you just reminded me. Hey, Ben, how are you feeling about Southern Miss?
How am I feeling about Southern Miss?
We got into a couple days ago.
What?
What was that argument we got into a couple days ago about Southern Miss?
You said they weren't going to make the. Yeah, Dimitri thinks they're not going to make the tournament.
I said they're not top 50, and their schedule does not have a lot of opportunity for them to stay up there. And you're like, they're making the tournament.
How their RPI, they went from 52 to 46 losing the series.
Right. Just wait until it all plays out. That Marshall
This is making the tournament, dude.
Their ADs on the.
I think they're going to make the tournament too. Just so we're clear, I think they're going to make the tournament too. They've got a whole SunBelt tournament to play too. They'll be just.
Now, I wouldn't say I wouldn't start booking your travels for a Hattiesburg regional. I don't think they would host a regional this year. In fact, I really only think Coastal has a shot out of the SunBelt. Troy could, but still, like, they're at 25 now, and I don't think they have a ton of opportunities other than that Southern Miss series the last week of the season to really boost it.
So we root for one mid-major regional a year.
Yeah.
We've got Irvine. They're still alive. Cal Poly got everything in front of them. I'm not saying they're a slam dunk to contend for one, but they've got everything in front of them. Coastals are one of our other shots. Troy is one of them. We're running out of options here, fellas.
Western Kentucky?
I mean, Western Kentucky.
And
Western
Dimitri,
Kentucky, our guy is 49.
This is the.
Never mind.
And Dimitri, this is the 8th year. The 8th.
That's a Ben thing. That's not a me thing. That's a Ben thing.
I know. I'm just
big brain stuff right there. Yeah, mid-major will win it all, but we might have to claim Oregon State.
Oregon State is a mid-major in this category, by the way.
Right.
For this exercise.
Hey, Dimitri, talk to us about the Survivor contest real quick, because I'm going to give you your props. You're one of 4 survivors that are left, right, in our weekend series picking competition.
Dude, he's on.
Who did you pick this week? Because you went 1-5. So I guess
the only team I got right.
What? You went 1-5.
1-5, and he advances in the Survivor contest.
You guys made what 2-3 games up on me this week? I got my ass kicked this week.
I think I went 3-3.
But I'm gonna pull that up real quick. I think it's super interesting.
Well. I went 2-4. My 2 wins were Texas and Auburn. I lost the rest.
Yeah, so there you go, Ben. Everything's in front of you.
So we had 154 total entries into the Survivor contest. We had 38 remaining going into this week. We have 4 left.
Sorry, I those 5.
5 people left. 19 people picked Dallas Baptist. 11 picked Alabama. They both lost their weekend series. So it's you and 4 other people, correct, that are left?
Because CTC then picked Oregon State, and they won right after I made this graphic. So.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive stuff.
But
that's
insane
really that you went 1-5.
We need to strategize. We need to get these people to the finish line and then have a fun finish. So we need to give some easier series because we just.
Hey, if you win the Survivor, I'll delete the video of you peeing your pants.
If you all right, here it comes organically. You win the Survivor. I guarantee you don't win the Survivor. You suck.
Oh, all right then. Noah,
suck.
send all
Fair.
research to me.
That's fair.
I need all your research by email every Friday morning.
You know what to do, Noah.
I'll get it to you by
Give him my
Wednesday morning.
investments. Give him my research.
All right, let's hey, Ben, is this the time of the episode where we pick our series for next weekend? And then get out of here?
let's pick our series and then also do a little midweek preview.
All right. Let's do it. Series for next weekend. It is up in 3, 2, 1, 0. Let me
Go to Thursday first. Let's make sure we don't pick any Thursday series. None of those interest me. Wake Forest, North Carolina interests me actually.
ACC's
That's a hard one to pick, I think.
Yeah.
At Carolina, definitely.
I'm gonna pull it up on my screen too, just because you go way faster than I do.
No.
We should. I know we do Tennessee a lot, but the return of Fisher and Doyle to Oxford.
Fisher heads back to Oxford.
And Doyle. Doyle
was getting interviewed post game on the broadcast, and he couldn't hide his excitement for wanting to go back.
He had a blister at the end of his outing. It's partially why they didn't send him back out for the complete 7-inning no-hitter.
Right.
And someone asked him in post game, and they go, "Hey, Liam, like, how's the blister feel?" He goes, "It'll be ready in 4 days." And they're like, "Okay, all right, sounds good."
Yeah.
Ben, we don't like Hawaii at Cal Poly, do we?
No,
they're on the mainland. Hawaii's
dead.
Don't you dare say that.
Yeah, I would pick Cal Poly there.
You guys remember when UC Santa Barbara was a good team?
They're playing better now.
It's 1 week.
Hot, cold, hot. Hot, cold, hot.
Yeah.
Were they hot
No,
for long
probably
enough?
not.
By the way, this is going to be the best version ever for Tennessee to go hot, cold, hot. Or this is their first weekend series loss since Alabama almost a year and 2 weeks ago. Their hot, cold, hot is just 1 weekend loss.
All right. How do we feel about LSU at Auburn?
Yeah, write it down. I mean, I don't love having Auburn back-to-back weeks, but
that's a tough spot because I mean, LSU, you have them on a back-to-back road series, but they're going to be the popular pick. That is definitely like a circle at their upset there. Auburn.
Do we put Kansas on the pick 'em or do we save them for Kansas State? Because that is a hard series to pick.
Yeah,
TCU.
Sunflower Showdown is going to be fire this year.
I've got a Pencil Talk correspondent that'll be at that TCU game too.
In the Big Ten this weekend, USC travels to Penn State. Both are 9-6.
Actually, I kind of like that one. I just wrote it down. USC at Penn State. That's a tough series to pick.
Hey, this is the one.
Yep.
We're putting this on there.
Why?
Missouri at Florida.
Oh, you want a cakewalk?
Missouri.
He wants to get this.
Yeah, he wants me to pee my pants because he's feeling lonely.
Sully will fight somebody on Sunday if they go into that Sunday game losing the series.
That'd be tough.
It would be tough.
Shots head to the bus lot, boys.
The way we can take Georgia again.
Yeah, I'm looking for new teams. Like Kansas at TCU is fun. Let's do Kansas at TCU.
I wrote that down. But it's in Athens, Georgia. In Athens.
Yeah, Arkansas, Georgia is definitely intriguing.
Oh yeah, Arkansas, Georgia. Let's just do it. 2 versus 3.
Gots to.
It might be like 1 versus 7 this week, actually. But
yeah.
Liberty, Western Kentucky would be fun, but I feel like we've already done Liberty a lot. No! Oh, God! All right. We have to do it. For friends at home, Our two alma maters that everyone so dearly cares about, Charleston Southern at Mercer,
Oh,
is a
throw it on there.
must. Is an absolute
Oh, God.
must. And we'll put some kind
Are
of
you gonna
wager
be
on
there?
the line.
And you know what's funny? That series
guys
is
should be there.
very weird because it's 2 at Mercer and 1 at Charleston Southern.
No, it is not.
Sunday is at Charleston
You
Southern.
absolutely put that on the docket. That's
I wrote
awesome.
it down. I wrote it down.
All right, and I'm going to start thinking of a wager.
You guys have to go.
I'm in a wedding next week. I know,
Oh,
but I'll get the Mercer
Hey
tab.
Ben, this is a difficult one to pick.
You got to use your words. I'm not looking at your screen.
yeah, it is. Louisville, NC State.
Louisville at NC State? Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
good
that's
one.
a
Wait,
tough series.
is that one? Oh, never mind. That one doesn't start Thursday, right?
No.
Yeah, add it on there.
Add it on there?
Yeah, what about East Carolina at Charlotte, too? Charlotte wins every Friday.
You know, you can make that one if Charlotte wins, that's like their top 25 bid. They win that series, they get to be in the top 25.
For
They're
the
in it.
mid-major.
We put them in.
What about this one? What about this one? Should we finally put our Maction series on there?
You got to use your words, dude. I'm not looking at your screen.
It's Kent State, Miami, Ohio. The new battle of 1 and 2 in the MAC.
Did we gloss over that I won 2 different Uber Eats bets?
It's pretty sick.
Well, I don't know if it's glossing over if it's my name tag.
That's a good point.
Well, I think I lost 1, 2.
I also mentioned it at the top too, because I was like, I respect Dimitri. The reason why we're not doing Uber Eats is because it's midnight.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
We weren't going to wake up for
Where's your boy?
Yeah, don't do that.
You don't do that.
then
Wait,
Dad's
on.
in the doghouse.
Are we doing Kent State and Miami, Ohio?
Yeah, let's do Kent State, Miami, Ohio.
Or at least put him on the list.
They'll make the cut. Well, I got to just know more about Noah and his Maction knowledge.
Dude, the Horizon League answer to your
That
question.
is terrible. This weekend, I mean, it's got some good series, but nothing like amazing.
So in the Southland, we've got Northwestern State, who's 12-6 in the conference. At
Yep,
Houston.
I have that one written down.
No, I am 100% not allowing that to be on my pick. That is just not going to happen.
Why?
Northwestern State is not appearing on my pick.
Why?
I think a lot of people would take Christian.
Because Northwestern State, what are they? The freaking Delta Devil, Dust Devil? What are they?
Demons. Mississippi Valley State's
Demon
Delta
Beacon.
Devils.
They're
They're
the
the
Demons.
Demons.
They just beat UTRGV 2 out of 3.
Congrats to them. I'm really happy.
What do you have against Northwestern State?
They're just not going to happen.
You love McNeese, but like right down the road is Northwestern State.
Great. McNeese
They're
is
all right in that
program.
little.
They're the more superior.
I don't know why you're making that face.
It's a battle of the first. It's battle of first place in the Southland.
Is it? I don't know if it is.
Well, let's look.
I think there's somebody better than Northwestern State.
Yeah, Northwestern State is 12-6.
All right. If we get there, we need another series. I might consider it.
Charleston Southern Mercer is basically college game day. Lee Corso's putting on a Bucky helmet or the Bear.
Well, I think we have our 6. Arkansas at Georgia.
Yep.
Kansas at TCU.
Yep.
East Carolina at Charlotte. Louisville at NC State. Kent State at Miami, Ohio. And then Mercer against
That's a great 6.
Last week off air, we talked about a series needing to be on this week. It's Utah Valley Grand Canyon, battle of 1 and 2 in the WAC.
No.
Right?
I love it.
I don't think we said that.
I thought
we never said that.
I thought we said that.
I do remember that.
No,
It's
you
at
don't.
Grand
You're just
Canyon
making
too,
that
so
up.
like everybody's gonna.
It is at
everybody's gonna pick the
GCU.
Lopes.
A lot of
Yeah,
people
you
will
should
pick
love that,
Lopes.
Dimitri.
Grand Canyon's going to sweep them.
Good. Put it on there.
Are you going to guarantee it?
They could.
It wasn't even close. Not gonna
Gear it
say.
up for it, dude.
Yo, hold on, time out. Come on. All right, Ben.
Hey,
Kansas,
Ben,
TCU, Arkansas, Georgia, Charleston Southern and Mercer, Kent State, and Miami, Ohio. That's 4. Are we doing Louisville,
I said
NC State?
6. All right. I'm going to do it slow. Arkansas at Georgia, Kansas at TCU, East Carolina at Charlotte.
Time out. Why are we doing that?
It's tough to pick.
East Carolina, Charlotte?
At Charlotte.
That's not a fun series for me to even like. I get what you're saying; it's difficult, but that is such a lame ass series.
you guys remember when Dimitri peed? He's got no right talking about lame. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a boring ass series.
You like 15 minutes ago, you just said, can we talk about the American Athletic Conference?
Yeah, and we did not mention East Carolina or Charlotte. I mentioned UTSA.
You spent
South
5 minutes
Florida.
talking about East Carolina.
Yeah.
We just said that we didn't think they were going to be very good, and
The conference runs through Greenville. Quote.
No. Oh my God! I said that East Carolina is not winning it this year after 6 years of running it. UTSA, South Florida, and FAU are your front top dog. I did not say anything about Charlotte. I did not mention East Carolina having a shot at winning this.
We talked about Charlotte breaking into our mid-major top 25 this week.
You wanted a minute. I wanted Northeastern just for the fans to know. Full transparency.
So what series do we have right now?
All right.
We have 4. We are not putting Charlotte in East Carolina.
What are the
Ben's
series?
so mad at me right now. He hates me right
You
now.
keep vetoing all my. I wanted Northwestern State at Houston Christian too.
What are our 4
I'm
series
trying to get
right
new
now?
teams in here. We do the same like 12 teams just every week. Just
Louisville
alternating.
and NC State, we have not done once this year.
Once? We didn't do NC State once?
No, we haven't done them
I
this
feel
year.
like we did NC State once.
And that was one of the 6 that I wrote down. So you still haven't proved your point yet.
All right, so we have 5. LSU at Auburn. Any takers?
I'm laying my entire life on the line for Charlotte ECU.
Why?
Did we get
East Carolina
USC
just got
Penn State into the mix?
Cody Gunderson rocks. Is it in the jungle too?
Oh, how about this series in the bottom of the Big Ten? 2 teams that we were speaking praises for early: Minnesota and
Love
Ohio State.
Absolutely
I
love
can't do that series. That just.
They're both.
I love that series. I love that series. Ben, you hate it? I love it.
How do you love that series?
Mighty
Yeah.
at
We have battle of first place in like 3 different leagues, and you're like, Northwestern State will never touch the graphic.
They will not.
I can't wait to be so.
I think we have a battle of first place in the Big East. Xavier against 3-0 St. John. If you guys want to just keep playing the first place thing, we can. I can keep
I
going.
really want to do the opposite now. Like, I want to find a last place matchup.
I just threw one.
But now you have me interested in I want to see like who Delaware State's playing.
Oh, yeah.
Norfolk State at Coppin State. Please. That's a fire one.
I need Delaware State against
Maryland. All right, you guys want to you want a fun way to pick this last series?
No.
Yeah. Oh, Ben, can we do the random team? Ben, can we do the random team? Yes. How have we not done that?
I'm sharing my screen right now.
Yes.
Take that stuff off.
All right, everybody guess one. Everybody guess a random team.
Can you guys see my mouse?
Yep.
Yeah.
Scroll to the top, Ben. Scroll. This is how we're going to do it. Jack, you say how many rows down, and 1, 2, or 3 is left, middle, right.
No doubt. No. So here's what we're also going to do. We're all going to guess and just guess which one he lands on, because that's what we did last year. We just did random schools. So guess what you think we're going to mysteriously land on.
I'm feeling a. Let me just think real fast.
Why don't you just say 10 rows down, number 1, 2, or 3 is left?
I know I'm going to do that, but I want you to guess. It's like a game. It's a raffle. It's a lottery. It's 50-50.
All right, well, if we're going to do this, wait, let me stop sharing my screen. Let me count how many rows there are real fast.
Okay. While you're doing that, for our listeners at home that are wondering
About
what
100.
the hell is going on, last year Ben and I on a Club for Omaha pulled up a list of 354 Division I baseball teams, and he just said, "Guess a random school. I'm going to scroll. Tell me when to stop. Whoever it lands on, you win." I guess my alma mater, a proud alumni of the George Mason University Patriots, who, by the way, had a walk-off on top 10. A bat spiked so hard it was elite. We just brought it up. Shout out to Coach Neal and the boys. Going to be a girl dad. Anyways, we picked it, and George Mason hit. It was electric. So now we're going to do it for our matchup. Noah, guess which one we are going to mysteriously land on.
VMI
Love
at
it,
Ohio.
Dimitri.
LSU at Auburn.
Okay.
I think
I don't-
ball doesn't lie here, and I'm saying
Okay.
Northwestern State at Houston Christian. It's going to land
I
on.
love it. I love it. I love
Ball
it.
don't lie.
I already
love
know
it.
this is about to be rigged.
No, it's not. No.
All right, so
Don't you dare.
So there's 49 rows of 3, and the 50th row has 2 games.
Okay, all right, hold on. Say that again for our fans.
50 rows, but the last row only
Okay.
has 2 games.
And it's
So-
3 across. So it's going to be a 1 through 50 and then a 1 through 3.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know my team. I just don't know who they're playing. Okay, I got it. This is perfect. I want Longwood. Longwood squaring off against High Point, who's a massive fan of the brand. I didn't even know they were playing High Point. It's the Longwood Lancers and the High Point Panthers. Ben, I want you to go to row 27 in honor of Jose Altuve, and I want you to go to game number 3 on the row in honor of Dylan Cruz. Let's make some magic, friends.
Jack went over
I gotta
and
start over.
looked
I
at what game it would
miscounted.
be.
There we go, Noah. No, I didn't do that. I didn't know who Longwood was playing, but I love picking. This is so much fun. This is going on the weekend series. Pick them for those that are at home.
I see my game.
26. This is row 26. So it's whatever game will be
Okay,
right
it's
below
under
it.
Troy JMU. Okay.
Memphis at FAU. That sucks.
That's awesome. Yes, you can. It's a rule. We have to, or we're fraud.
I don't think we
It's
can.
a-
All right,
I
how
think
about
we
this?
have to do it.
No, we can pick another game on that row.
No. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I lied. I want you to go. I was gonna say go to the 3rd row and 27 over, but that wouldn't make sense.
I think we have to do
All right,
Memphis
3rd
at
row,
FAU.
2
We're
over,
in a minute
7
now.
All
down.
right, do that.
And go back up to the top. Go back up to the top.
No, you have to do this one. This is what we.
We're gonna let Noah do this. We're gonna let Noah pick.
Wait, no,
Why?
I think the best way to do this was my original. Like, I was going to present this idea. I was literally going to just
scroll.
randomly scroll with my eyes closed
Yeah, that's what we
and
should
like
have done.
wherever it ends up.
Yeah.
All right, and this
Yeah.
is sudden death. Whatever
And
it
we
lands
Which
on.
is, by the way, what we
Series.
did last time. We just
Yes.
randomly scrolled. Okay, cool.
And this is sudden death. Whatever game I land on, whatever game my mouse is on, like
Okay.
that's the game we're doing, or the
Okay.
series that we're
Man.
doing.
All
All right, and I promise I will.
Do we get to choose a
Hurry
game
up.
in the row?
It's 6 a.m., dude. I need to go to fucking
Shut
sleep.
up, Riz God. This is
All
fun.
right.
Actually, you
Am I
can
scrolling?
You can do whatever you want.
Isn't
All
scrolling.
right, go. Yeah, go.
Mm-hmm.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go up.
Book it.
What am I on?
I don't even see.
Where's the
Where's
cursor?
my cursor? Oh. It was like over here hidden, but I went
All
straight
right,
across.
run it
It's
back.
Niagara
Run
and
it back.
Siena.
Run it back. Was it?
Run it back.
Wait.
I didn't
You gotta
see
keep
it.
that thing.
There
on
you go.
the
Put it in
game.
the middle. Now scroll up and down, and then
Yeah.
you can move a little.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Down.
Stop your engines. Where's your cursor?
Where are
Miss
you
at
at?
Texas State. Of course, it finds Southern Miss at
Do
Texas
the
State, the 2
first
teams we
one,
do the
dude.
most of.
Do Memphis and FAU, damn it.
Can we just agree on one of these series inside the screen?
Yeah, I
This
like
was
Dimitri.
terrible
So I
Pick
podcast
one of these
the last
series
10
inside
minutes.
the screen.
You guys are so not about the fun. To Southern and Alcorn. Alcorn's still looking for their first conference win.
No. LSU at Auburn. It was inevitable.
That sucks.
Louisiana,
LSU at
Monroe.
Oh, did we like push off USC at Penn State? Is that not one?
Yeah, I know. What happened to
LSU
that?
Auburn.
Hey, you know who's playing good baseball right now, Dimitri? Northwestern. The Wildcats are rolling.
What is that? What was that girl? What was that
I
girl?
don't know what they did this weekend.
I'm going to Texas Christian University.
Yeah, I'm
Robert,
Yeah.
what is she saying?
My name is Emily Winnick, and I'm going to Alcorn. Give me
All right. I'm good with either Penn State, USC, or
LSU,
LSU, Auburn. I'm good with
Vandy at Oklahoma.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
a
that's
hard
fun
one.
one,
That's
too.
a good one.
Yeah.
That's it.
Memphis
All right.
FAU. You know it's right.
Ben is so deflated, so disappointed.
Yeah, I'm good with Vandy, Oklahoma. We haven't. I don't think we've done. Like I remember doing a Penn State one.
Wait,
I remember we just did Auburn.
Is it
We've
Vandy
done
at
LSU.
Oklahoma?
Yeah.
All right, good. I'm going to bed. Holy shit.
Ben and I are cuffed in the same car.
I did an hour and 36-minute episode, and it's 6 a.m. I am going to bed.
And you peed yourself. And do you remember that?
And you peed yourself.
I just said that I pissed myself.
Can we watch the video again?
Okay,
been
let's
a
just
long
watch
day.
the video.
Can we
Since
watch the
Dimitri
video
won't let
again?
me, Dimitri wouldn't let me have Northwestern State at
No.
Play
UC
the
Christian.
volume.
No.
up a
Let's
little
just
bit.
watch